So Scott Tynan has moved into the middle for the Eaton Boomers, underneath the feet of Paul Rinder, and it looks like Rex Kennedy might be in as well.
DeAngelis rucking for Collie against Paul Rinder, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. You've got Bignell in there, who does play through one of their more prolific midfielders for Collie.
So umpire holds the ball a loss. You're listening to SEN Spirit. Join us on the app as we welcome Darren McDonald for the call.
Rinder and DeAngelis. Rinder stands up in it. He now gets the handball away to Humphreys. Humphreys off the right boot, stabs it inside 50. Ball goes to ground. It's streaked by Allen. Allen gets a handball. It's misdirected. Luck's a fortune. Falls to a teammate. Fires on goal. And it's a point. And that was a point to Jackson Hill.
And that was a blistering start from Eaton. Now the big Paul Rinder got first hands on the footy.
Jack Rinder to bring the ball into play for the Eagles. Runs out of the square now, brings it members' side. Drop punt. Oh, and that's a strong mark to Fontana.
That's what you learn after 150 games, mate.
Let's see how he kicks it. There he goes onto that left foot. Guided down by the right hand and straight to Herman Humphreys, who wastes no time and plays on. He finds... that was Tynan. Tynan goes for a big booming drop punt to the hot spot. They stand underneath it. Gathered by Fontana. Really good play by him. Out he goes on that left foot again. And not straight onto the chest of Monaghan. Monaghan turns around, plays on quickly. Can't quite get it to Higgs. Ball goes over the back and it's seen over the line by Thorne of the Eaton Football Club. And the ball will be brought back into play on the far centre wing.
Good to see Jace Fontana in his 150th game get early hands on footy. Messed up the first kick, but that was a beauty.
So, ball in for Dale Alcock, Southwest Homes. Goes down, one down by the Collie ruckman. Picked up by Kennedy of Eaton. He's brought to ground and there'll be a ball up. KFC ball up on the far centre wing.
You can almost see how much this game means to these both sides. Both sides have a fair dinkum chance of going home with the 4 points.
Rinder holds his ground. Humphreys trying to get the ball. Rinder goes after it again. He looks pumped up. Kennedy wins it for Eaton. Now the ball's out in front of Jackson Hill and he likes to run. Takes off. Goes on the angle, then on the right boot. Bang into the pocket. Good mark onto the chest of Bow.
Yeah, he did that nicely, didn't he? Turned his body in the right way.
Right on the boundary line, looking in forward. O'Dine! Well done. To the pressure forward. He comes out. He's taken a mark 35 metres out. Will shoot from 40 on a 45-degree angle, right side for a left footer.
Moved into the forward line last week against Bunbury and had an immediate effect, so it'll be great for his afternoon if he could slot this one through. Nice little build-up by the Eaton side.
Interesting, Broadbent hasn't started in the ruck. O'Dine comes in, shoots from 48 off the right boot.
Oh, I reckon he's got that. I tell you what,
he's just gone over the top a lot. And he gets first blood today for the Eaton Football Club, and that should have them up and about. I tell you what, Craney, Rinder looks like he's on a mission.
He does, doesn't he? Looks like he's got a bit of fire in the eye, the big fella.
Twice now he's held his ground, and DeAngelis has got the jump well over him, but he's just held him out, and DeAngelis has fallen off balance and fallen off the ground twice.
Yeah, and that was a nice build-up by the Eaton side then. They look very, very switched on early days in this game. They're getting a lot of the footy. And Collie haven't gone inside their forward 50 yet. Is that right, Ash?
Yep.
Expert comments from Alan Crane, thanks to MGIB. Like a good neighbour, MGIB is there since 1981. Rightio. Rinder and DeAngelis go at it again. Rinder in good position, wins another ruck knock, wins it down to Kennedy, who's wrapped up straight away by Bignell, who is yet to get a stat in this game. Rightio.
Rinder's a bit too strong in there at the moment.
Yep. DeAngelis goes again. This time he gets first hands, but it goes to Kennedy. Kennedy slung off it. Still they work hard. Now it's run out of defence by Tanner of Collie. Out to the half-forward line, and that's a good mark onto the chest of Reuben. He's still too far out to score. Goes inside, and that's a wonderful pass.
Good lead, good kick.
Fontana, who seems to be everywhere at the minute for Collie. He's in defence before.
Handball's off.
And now he's handball off to Bignell, who's fired on goal. And it's a behind. So Collie get their first score. Not a bad foray forward.
I like the way they do that. Bignell, a thumping kick of the footy. Nice little handoff by Fontana, who would have been right on his distance, but just missed.
So is this Rioli to bring the ball back into play? Runs out of the square now. goes to the outer side. Humphries drops what he would have normally taken, still has his head over the footy, working very hard is Greg Humphries. Ball comes out. Kennedy tries to get it. It's picked up instead by Monahan. He shovels it forward. Rioli, no, it wasn't Rioli. It's picked up now by Scott. He handballs to no one in particular. Ball's still in dispute. It's come off the foot of Higgs of Collie and just rolls over the line. Will be a ball up, but a ball in.
Put a bit of pressure on yourself when you drop a mark like that. I think he was already thinking about what he was going to do with it on the other side.
Yes.
I think that was Darren Thorne, actually.
Yeah, Thorne, yeah. It was Thorne. Broadbent's now into the ruck. Rins this one, but Rinder collects him. Bignell gets up off the deck. He looks to give it to Pilati. Ball comes still further afield and picked up by Hill. He takes off immediately and has a bounce. Shrugs a tackle, then has another bounce. He's looking good. Bounce number 3. Now he handballs over the top to a teammate and gets the give and go. Floats one in because he's exhausted. Getting after it is Collard. He's been to the ball and Collie clear really well. Now it's on the outside to Barker. Barker then chips up forward. It's a nice pass, not paid. They're working really, really hard. Both sides at this point in time over on the far wing. Umpire's found a free kick. It's come back into play. Kennedy stands underneath it.
Good young
Takes
player,
a nice
Kennedy.
mark.
It was very good last time we called him.
Goes inside and finds Gaylard on the chest, still just behind centre. Calling for it is Bolton, who initially gave it to Kennedy. He's just gone high as Gaylard. Getting underneath it with courage was Scott. Came off his hands, but now Collie gather through Rinder, and he's got it out through a teammate in Monahan, who has found Broadbent, who's starting to look good since he came into the game. Goes over the head of Higgs. Collie still have possession of the footy. That's Monahan on the right boot, but it's marked on the chest by Hodgson. Now they go out to the far side again. Rioli gets after it, but right with him is Reuben. Still Rioli. Bit of class there, finds it. He's got a teammate there on his own. And Hill drops what he should have taken. Coming through is Humphries. Through the middle, has a bounce in about the middle of 6 of them. Then gets it to a teammate who dishes back to Hill. Hill in the middle of the ground finds Collard. Not 15, says the umpire. Goes back to Rinder. He thumps it out here to the members' side. And a great mark taken by Scott, who gets a good handball onto Bolton. Bolton goes inside and a wonderful intercept by DeAngelis.
I'll tell you what, it's got some pace on this game.
Plays
Darren.
on quickly to Barker, who goes. He's an athletic type. He's had 2 bounces, gets the centre wing and then lets the trigger go. And that's a wonderful mark to Fontana in front of Hodgson. He's played on, he's delivered inside. The ball, he's just dropped at the last minute. Umpire's found a free and he said it was incorrect disposal, and Fontana's going to get a free kick about 40 metres out from goal.
Geez, covering some ground, Fontana. But this game has played at a real hectic pace. Good to see players just taking the game on. Beautiful day for football. No shortage of bounces early.
So he will kick from about 40, Alan, and it's on an angle that's a bit tighter than 45 degrees, but with his kicking style, you can kick him from any angle. So on the right side for a right footer. He's going to come in. He'll drop it on his trusty left. Pokes at it. Don't know what he's done with it.
I reckon he's kicked it.
He has kicked an absolute...
Oh, there's a bit of discussion.
What's happening?
Rinder may have got hands on the ball.
No, she's a sausage roll.
She's a goal?
Yep, she's a goal. He's floated it through. He stabbed at it and floated it. And that's a goal to Fontana, who's been influential early.
Yeah, great goal for Fontana. Wasn't the best off the boot. Rinder just hit it on the for the Eaton side, but it was just over the goal line.
A really good build-up by Collie with the intercept by DeAngelis straight off to Barker, and Barker was off like a jackrabbit.
The beauty of it, both sides are taking this game on. Yeah. I mean, there's been quite a few bounces around that outer side to open up the play. Very entertaining early days.
And on the Harvey Norman Electrical Bunbury scoreboard, it's 1 goal, 1 apiece. So both sides having their time in the sun this quarter. 1 down by Rinder of Eaton, and the umpire said shepherding out. And DeAngelis has won the free kick. So I don't know how that was different to the last 4 times they went up. But anyway, drives it inside. Getting hands on it was Hodgkinson, but that he couldn't get a handle on it. It's come back now to Kennedy, who drives it out to that far wing again. Intercepting there was Davidson for the Collie side. He gets it off to Pilati. He runs, now he fires in, back inside 50 for Collie. Attacking that well as Rioli. Shrugs off, was probably a little bit of a high tackle. Comes back across to the members' side, and that's a good mark on the chest to Gaylard. He had to stretch for that one. He's played on immediately, and away they go. That was Bow. Gives it back to Gaylard. He's mucked that one up. Can Collie make them pay? That was very good work there by Michael. He's gone out wide. Gathered here by Broadbent on the left foot. He fires into full forward. Nearly Fontana. Still gathers the ball now. Gives it to Higgs. Higgs snaps over the right shoulder and in the square.
Oh, I reckon he's seen him too. I reckon he's picked him out.
In the square is Reuben. He's taken him, sorry, not in the square, in the pocket.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I reckon he's seen Reuben then and then just dropped that kick short and put Reuben in a great spot to give Collie the lead.
He'll kick from 25 on a very sharp angle. He's popped it up and he's popped it through. Collie hit the lead.
How nonchalant was that?
Yeah. Eaton, 1 goal, 1-7. Collie, 2 goals, 1-13. And we've got a game on, Alan.
Oh, it's a cracker of a game, isn't it? It belies the position on the ladder of these two sides because it is an absolute beauty. The ball is absolutely whizzing. And that was a great kick in. Did you see who got that kick in, Darren?
Kick in.
Who kicked it to Reuben just now?
Oh, that was a snap over the shoulder by Higgs.
Higgs, yeah, I reckon Higgs picked him out. And if he did, that was very clever football. He could have just blazed away. He didn't. And made the very most of it.
The costly turnover, skill error by Eaton as they're about to go inside by Gaylard. Rinder and DeAngelis. One down by Rinder. No one can get it out of the square. Collie push it forward now. Bignell runs onto it. Drops it on the right boot. And bang, right in his path. Big Jackson Broadbent down from Peel for the day. We've got Rent a player this week with the Waffle State game, Craney, and he looks to be giving Collie a fair bit of confidence when they're going forward.
Yeah, nice little burst out of the centre, wasn't it, by Bignell? And he is a terrific kick of the footy. Broadbent presented himself very well, and just that's an easy game when you play it like that.
Dead in front from 40. Good-looking drop punt.
It.
Collie have 3 in a row. Broadbent gets his first, and he's having a real influence across half forward for the Eagles at this point in time. On the Harvey Norman scoreboard, it's Eaton, 1 goal, 1-7. To the visitors, Collie Eagles, 3 goals, 1-19. They're out to a 12-point lead about halfway through this first quarter.
Yeah, it was all Eaton to start this game off, and they were inside 50 a lot of times early on for just the 1 goal. And the last 5 or 10 minutes, Collie Eagles have really put a stamp on the game. I love the way they're moving the ball quickly, and when it comes out the middle like that, very little defender can do when Big Broady got in the road.
Rinder and DeAngelis. DeAngelis wins this one. Bignell taken without the football. He's starting to have a bit of a say in this match, Craney.
Yeah, look, he not only gets the footy, but when he guards, he uses it very, very well.
He's gone out to a teammate there in Jacob Pilati, who's passed it on, and that's a good mark there. Collie go inside 50 now. Over the back it goes. Ball comes to ground. The ball is gathered. It comes out of there. It was out to Mears, but now Collie still have the ball inside their forward 50. They battle on now. It's gathered by Bolton. He's given it off to a teammate. Not 15, the umpire says. Greg Humphreys says, give it to me, fellas. I'll take you to the promised land. Gets it to Collard. Back to Humphreys, who's run on strong. He's a wonderful player to watch him full flight. Caught. Gets it up to a teammate, but now that's a really good, strong gather by Hodgkins, by Davidson of the Collie side as they bring it out to the far wing and on the chest.
That wasn't the best kick, though.
Looks like it's Tanner Allen. Pops it up. They fly. It's at half forward for Collie. For Eaton's gone over the back.
There's a kick back to Collie, though.
It's going back to Collie. He didn't look very convincing then as he played on with the football, the Eaton player. But he thought I'd give it a go anyway. That was Tanner Allen. This player... It's Barker struggling to get up.
Yeah, he's got a bit ginger in it. He copped a fair whack in that, but he's up on his feet and will continue on.
He's a very agile type, young Barker, isn't he? Out he goes. That's a very good mark to Fontana.
He is playing an absolute beauty. Of course, his 150th game for the Collie Eagles, and I think that gives him life membership.
Far centre wing, puts it on the left boot, pops it up nice and high. Broadbent goes at it, comes to ground. Picked up there by Chitty. He wheels around on his left boot. Fires it in there. No one can mark. Umpire says play on. Kennedy grabs the ball and he gives it off to a teammate and they get it out of the fence to the Eaton side. It's battled on there by Hodgkinson, but now Collie have the ball again and seemingly have control. Good smother there on Chitty's kick. Comes back now, goes to Mears. He puts it up to the square, but standing all on his own is Rioli and takes him a saving chest mark. Wastes no time, plays on.
Good
comes
kick
out
too.
to the members' side and onto the chest of Jackson Hill it goes, who got a bit of it early. Getting after him is Mears. Hill still looking for someone to give it to. Just chips it into the middle of the ground, and that's a nice mark there to Bow. He plays on quickly, tackled as he kicks it. Ball not going to travel as well as he liked. Getting after it is Pegler. He's brought to ground. Umpire says free kick, just as Bennell was going to pick it up. He plays on now. Does Bennell?
Oh, that's a
Barker. Jeez, he's a nice-looking type.
That was
Crony.
a ripper.
Good match-saving mark in defence. Comes across to Russell. Russell goes long down the wing. Standing underneath it is Broadbent. He's really looking good, isn't he, Craney?
He moves very, very well.
And then he's given off to Jack Rinder. Back to Broadbent.
Oh.
Does know what to do. Rinder now in a bit of space on that wing. Just in front of the Eaton members. Brings it inside 50 and a very strong mark to Higgs. Higgs goes to the hot spot to a one-on-one. Oh, they're trying to feign for a free kick. Kennedy has the ball. It's come off the ground. It's a goal.
Went the other side of the post.
Oh, no, he's missed it. And that was Chitty.
Give it every opportunity.
Using a bit of clever play, but, gee, they're keeping me on the edge of my seat.
We'll have to get the Jones boys replay happening for that mark down the back.
Yeah,
because by Barker, that was an absolute beauty.
Oh, he's an absolute pearler. I told you, he just got that look about him. He's like a cat.
Just moved nicely, didn't he?
All the time. In comes Rioli, out to the outer side. Finds Pegler, but he can't mark.
He did that well.
Come back in. Giangelis gets it on his left side. Coming at the football was Jacob Pilati. Ball's in dispute now. Gathered out by Eaton. Rioli has it. He's brought to ground by Pilati. Now it's gathered by Zach Pilati, whose handball's intercepted. Jacob Pilati's on the ground working overtime, and now there's a free kick to Eaton. Don't you hate it when you do all the hard work and it all goes against you?
It does, but both sides working very, very hard this first quarter. Rinder's on his own.
The ball up the wing, and that's a good mark to Rinder. He's looking for someone to give it to. Now he just goes long down the line. And over the top was
another one for the
Davidson
Jones.
And Collie are having a competition amongst themselves for mark of the year across half back.
That's one for the Jones boys replay as well. Jones boys, Bunbury Kia. That was a beauty.
That could be another one for the Buckingham Beef big moments as the ball's on half forward now, being repelled by Rioli, and it gets it to Gregory Humphreys just on the defensive side of centre. Comes through the middle of the ground. The ball has been marked by Jackson Hill. Right in the centre. Gives it to Greg Humphreys. He's looking for options. Just goes inside, but it's cut off and marked beautifully there by it was Broadbent. No, it wasn't. Play on. Away we go. It's Selmeri for Collie. Brings it into half forward. Ball hits the ground. There's Craig there for Eaton. Gives it to Bolton. Bolton handballs to Bow. Back to Bolton, who's run on his right boot.
Beautiful kick.
Onto
Great
the chest
vision
of Tanner Allen.
He's
at half forward now. Goes into the middle of the ground and finds a teammate all on his own in Adcock. Adcock at 60 goes on the left foot for a pass. O'Dines read it well on the chest. He outpointed Blackford. A beautiful kick by O'Dines.
It was a nice kick in from Adcock. Then he just put enough weight on it to get over the top to put it in O'Dines' spot. O'Dines still had to take the mark on a very good player. But a great start to this game. It'll be a good start to O'Dine.
Tight angle's going to shoot from 30 on right side for a left footer off his right boot. It goes, and he's got his second Crady.
He has it. That we spoke out a young player before game, and we said he'd just been moved forward, and he looks very dangerous up there. But it's the way the ball's brought in that makes it. You've got to put it to the advantage of your forward, and that's exactly what Adcock did. And second goal on the board to the Eaton Boomers.
And a much needed one is a bit of an understatement, as it has been all Collie the last 10, 15 minutes. So on the Harvey Norman scoreboard, it's 2 goals, 1 at 13 to Collie, 3 goals to 20. They lead by 7 points, and this is a very entertaining affair here at Glen Huon Reserve, Alan.
Well, it is, and it belies the position on the ladder for these two sides, because this is played at a red-hot pace. The skills are good. We've seen some of the best marking we've seen all year, actually.
Oh, fantastic marking. It is an absolute exhibition as Rinda and DeAngelis go at it. One down by Rinda. Kennedy hits the ball in full flight, can't gather. Russell takes the footy for Collie, gives it to the back door to Tanner. Tanner chips it out into plenty of space for his teammate in Michael. He gathers now. He's got someone further afield out there on the half-forward flank in front of the Eaton members, and that's Zach Palatti. Palatti goes, fires one into the hot spot. Broadbent comes, but they've chopped it off in front.
We talk about going to percentage, Darren. That was the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Went to a 4-on-1 with the Eaton.
Thorne, not a great kick out of defence, finds Craig. Craig butters up and he finds teammate Rinda all on his own. Still inside D50. Rinda floats one up into the middle of the ground and it's managed well by Scott. He plays on quickly. That's Bo. He has the football. Lovely handball over the top to Adcock. If he can gather, he's a chance here. On the left foot, he goes to short pass it to the hot spot. And the ball was taken by Hodgkinson. He's chipped it out there to Barker, who's been wonderful in this first quarter. Out there to Giandelis now, and they're out of trouble. Back out to that far side. Fontana comes out, gathers the ball at the second bite. And I think he's put down after he's got rid of it, and they've played the advantage. The ball suddenly inside 50 and a beautiful mark to Broadbent.
This ball is absolutely whizzing. Hope you're enjoying it if you're watching it on the SEN app, because it's a very entertaining game of football. And that just went from defence into offence very, very quickly.
So Jackson Broadbent really having a nice day today here at Glen Huon. And he's...
it's a good day for the big fella, isn't it? Not a breath of air. Beautiful day for football.
Marking the ball well. He's going to shoot from about 40 on a 45-degree angle, right side for a right footer. In he strolls, hits the right boot. The umpire's doing a little bit of work, and I think it might have just snuck through on the near side.
He did. Deserved a bit better than that, actually.
Yeah, gee, they're just taking every opportunity, both sides actually, to play on at all costs.
Oh, it is. That's what makes it so entertaining. It is just whizzing. There's still enough pressure on there, but both sides working hard to create an option for the ball carrier to have a look at.
Righto, Rioli to bring the ball back into play, runs out of the square now, so he gets a stat for that, Alan. Yeah. In he goes, has a bounce. And that's a Wilson's Brewery stat, and he's found a teammate and hit him on the chest. He comes inside. Very good reaching mark
there's some
there
clever
to Scott.
kicking going on.
Yep, he handballs immediately onto Rioli. Rioli gives it off to Kennedy. Kennedy thumps the ball down the line with a handball and finds Pegler. Pegler wheels around and drops it inside 50. Come at it's over the head of Allen, and it's a very good mark by Mounsey.
Your favourite player's not in actually today, Abbott.
Yeah, I was going to say before the game, the Abbott's not here, but the clergy certainly are. And the ball's kicked down the wing by Zach Palatti. That's a lovely kick to Monoman. He plays on, has a bounce. Now he sizes up his options, goes to the hot spot. It's a 2-on-1 and nearly goes Collie's way. Picked up by Eggs, left foot over the shoulder, and it's a behind. What's the inside 50 count for us, Sash?
Well, Ash has a quick inside 50s.
15 for Collie.
15 for Collie, 8 versus... 15 to Collie, 8 to Eaton Boomers. So they've nearly doubled the output of the Boomers, but there's only just over a goal in it, Alan.
It's the pace of what are coming in, Darren. That's made it entertaining. So
Rinda gets it out to Craig. Craig plays on and puts it over to a teammate out there on the half-back flank. They bring it into the middle of the ground. There's Collard. Gives it back to Greg Humphreys. Humphreys then looking forward, standing underneath it there. Could not be gathered. Now it's picked up there by Scott. He gets a handball away. His teammate brought to ground. Still Eaton find a way to get it forward. And standing underneath it, taking a courageous chest mark is Pegler. Too far out to score, you'd think, on a very tight angle. He gives a handball off to Humphreys. Humphreys goes inside. Just in time. Tanner Allen was going to pick that up and wheel around. But at the quarter-time break, we've got the Eaton Football Club, 2 goals, 1-13. Trailing Collie, 3 goals, 4-22. So that is a 9... No, what have we got? Yeah, it's a 9-point differential. And we'll see you after the break.
Eaton, 2 goals, 1-13 to the Collie Eagles, 3 goals, 4-22. A very, very entertaining start to the game, Darren. And Paul Rinder, the ex-Collie ruckman, and who's joined the Eaton Burma, started off on the house on fire, but the other ruckman started to work his way back into it.
He certainly did, and we got to mention Barker's mark in the back line.
That's a Jones boys replay.
He provided us with a Buckingham beef big moment very early in the game, and celebrate your big moments with big Buckingham beef, Craney, because that was a beauty.
Yeah, you just sit and you just hang in there. You love players who can do that, don't you? But Eaton, all the first half, that 5 minutes in the quarter, they had all the footy, and then Collie sort of worked their way back in that inside 50s, 9 to Eaton to 15 to Collie. So that just tells a bit of a story. Ash doing our stats again. 3 marks inside 50 of the Eaton club and 5 to Collie as we are prepared to start the second quarter. Here we go, and Darren McDonald.
Rinder and Giandelis resume acquaintances. Ball comes back to Rinder, slams on his left boot and goes inside 50 for Eaton. Almost a carbon copy of what happened in the first quarter. Collie now get in. There's a soccer. Bring the ball out of place. Picked up there by Hoy Moroney. He's got it back to a teammate. And now Collie come out of defence. It's hit to a one-on-one. Russell can't mark it. With him is Bo. Ball is shoved out of line by Fontana. And if you enjoyed those highlights as we were coming back to the broadcast, that's courtesy of the Jones boys at Bunbury Kia. So if you're shopping for a car, just go down and give them a hoy first. All right. Now we've got a Dale Alcock Southwest Homes a throw in back to play. Ball zinging around, picked up by Humphreys. Geez, he's a clean player.
Silky
has
smooth,
a bounce after he just stepped the player off the wing. It's a bit of a mongrel kick and it's intercepted very well there by Jack Rinder of Collie. Brings it out to Bignell.
This is a good test for Collie, whether they can keep playing at the level that they started that first quarter at.
Bignell gives it to Hoy Moroney, who's just on the half-back flank. He goes back and pumps a big drop punt forward. Rinder goes with DeAngelis. Ball goes to ground. It's picked up by Ruben, who's met really solidly by Rioli. The ball's held in, and there's a good sign of sportsmanship there, and there'll be a KFC ball up right in front of the Collie dugout. Rinder wins this one down. Bignell can't get it, and ball goes over the line, and the Cyclone fence nearly got a bit of a workout.
Right in front of us in the commentary box.
Yeah.
Which is one of the best commentary boxes in the league now.
Probably the best at this point in time.
Without a point. Yep.
So
and
we've
great
got
canteen too,
another
good food.
Dale Alcock Homes Southwest ball in. Ball's one down by Rinder, picked up by Russell of Collie as he drives the ball forward. Bignell went the man instead of the ball, and in the end...
the man dodged out around him.
Oh, he was lucky. The ball's won by Hoy Moroney from a good tackle. Hoy Moroney drives it into the hot spot now for Collie. They all fly, and that's a wonderful mark there to Higgs.
We are treated as a mark this afternoon, and that was an absolute beauty.
Higgs, you'd have to say, is the third tall, and he's had a little bit of an influence, Craney.
He has at that, and that was a pretty good grab. He said there was a fair bit of pressure around the ball. And he's going to kick around the corner from there.
He's on a 45-degree angle. He's about 30 metres out. He's going to try and snap it around the corner. Probably should try the drop pump, but he knows himself better than I. And he says, yes, I do, Darren, and he kicks his first goal for the day.
Very effective, but I still don't understand it. But a great mark, great finish. when you're there, you kick a drop punt.
Yeah.
But it was a great grab, and it was a great start to the Collies Football Club. Gee, they've got a bit of power up that forward line this afternoon when you add Hicks to Broadbent.
And Fontana.
And Fontana, who's covering a great deal of ground in his 150th.
Yeah. So on the Harvey Norman scoreboard, we've got Eaton 2 goals, 1-13, and Collie now skip away to a 15-point lead, 4 goals, 4-28.
Yeah, I said the biggest challenge for Collie is to keep this momentum. They're playing some terrific football. They just haven't been able to carry it through a full game.
They need to believe. DeAngelis and
That's the word there, Darren.
DeAngelis and Rinder to do battle. One down by Rinder, straight down to Tynan. He gets it on his left boot. Comes out there to Allen. Allen and Rinder in a foot race. It's Jack Rinder. Picked up by Allen. Rinder's right with him. Doesn't let him have it all his own way. Picked up there by Adcock. Gets it off to a teammate who runs inside 50. Hill, I think it is. He fires on goal. No. And he hits the woodwork.
Gee, deserved better than that. He done a mountain of work on that outer side.
Jackson Hill, really good work, but did not get the reward. So the ball to come back into play by Davidson of Collie. They all set themselves. Reuben was fourth man up, nearly had the football. Umpires found a free kick without the footy, and it's going to go to go to Kennedy. No, it's not. It's Scott. He goes to the hot spot now, standing underneath it. Was Collie streaking through Hill. He's going to have another go. He can't pick it up. He's playing with it like a toy in the playpen. He cannot get boot to ball, and it's another point to Jackson Hill.
Don't you love our game? All it had to do was sit, and Hill would have drilled that for goals, and it just would not come up.
God, he streaked through the stoppage magnificently.
Mate, it would have looked absolutely sensational. Would have, could have, should have, but didn't.
Barker floats one out. Rioli stands underneath and takes a very strong mark. Now he just chips it inside and finds Greg Humphries. Has he got the leg from here, Alan?
Well, I think he's a very, very good footballer, but this is too much.
Yeah, he goes inside now, and a lovely mark to Herman Humphries. And, no, it's Bennell. I think it might be... Yes, it's Bennell. Bennell, and he will have a shot probably from just inside 50, dead in front. In he strolls. It was a good kick in by Humphries. Kicks from 49. Set sail. Umpire working hard. And it's another point to the Eaton side. And just when they're having all the flow of play at the moment, they cannot capitalise, Alan.
And that's what happened to them last week. They kicked 14 goals, 18, and went down to Bunbury by a very minute margin. So they need to put goals on the board.
Jack Rinder brings the ball back into play. Can't mark Barker. Now he finds the footy again and he takes off. He's like a gazelle. Gets rid of it after one bounce. Goes up the wing to Higgs. Umpire says play on. And now Eaton have the footy. Bow in the middle of the ground. What's he going to do? It's a bit of a mongrel kick. Finds Scott. He's brought to ground. What's the umpire said?
He'll ball this up because he had absolutely nowhere to go.
Probably could have just let it go. But anyway, that might work to Eaton's advantage because Collie had the ball there. One down by DeAngelis. Picked up. What's the umpire fan now? It's going to go Eaton's way to Humphries. Must have been interfered with off the ball. Normally when this man touches it, something happens. Something good. He's just going to go, oh no, he chips it just inside, doesn't come off the
just
foot
when you
well.
say that.
And the ball's taken by Zach Palatti. He goes out to the wing. He finds a teammate in Chitty. He runs, sizes up his options. He's on the centre wing now. Drives it long. It's high. Standing underneath it, Broadbent. That's asking a bit of him. Over the back's Reuben. And then coming into it, Mears. On his right boot, fires on goal. And he's missed to the near side.
If he had time again that he had a man inside.
Yes, he did.
Who was actually standing there telling him to have a shot for goal. But there's a player down.
And over there on the far side. He's not looking great. He's hanging onto his shoulder.
Yeah, players over there were straight away called for a bit of help.
Yeah, no, he's not moving.
He got caught on that shepherd.
Might be a bit of a collarbone. The way he's... And he's got him up now. I think it's Tynan, is it? Yes. Is it? Was it Hodgkinson? No. Trying to work out who it is.
He's up and about.
He's hanging on to that shoulder that's heavily strapped.
And the game will go on.
All right. They bring the ball back into play to Eaton and Greg Humphries. He has the football. Looking for an option. Finds one. It's Big Rinder. He goes on that left foot, further wide again.
Good kick for a ruckman, isn't he?
Found Kennedy. Kennedy chips it up further afield. So they're just moving the ball methodically. Eaton come inside. There's Rinder.
Racking up the stats, Big Paul. So
Rinder now has the ball just in the centre of the ground. Moves it forward. It's not that good a kick. It clean bowls a lot of them. It's gathered by DeAngelis of Collie. Gets it to Davidson. Ball's up high. Barker tries to create room and then finds a teammate in Chitty. Chitty's played on immediately and there's a mark just out into the scoreboard. Ruben drives it inside 50. Coming out, Fontana drops what he would have normally had for breakfast. It's not a great kick. It's come over the back now. It's Mears on the right boot. What's he done this time?
He's been put on his tail. Oh,
gee, that's a bit of a danger pocket at this point.
There's a bit going on out on the outer side there.
They're not happy with it.
Didn't react too well. While that's going on, Travis Hodgkinson has just come off the ground. He was the player that went down with that bit of a shoulder, but he come off on his own steam.
Umpire looks to be, I don't know whether he's tucking his shirt in, getting a ticket out, or doing a report.
I think a player's been carded. Or the umpire's been very nice to him. He's running off with him, so...
No, that's Thorne. I think he's been given the card. It might be a yellow.
It's a yellow card?
Yes, it is. It is a yellow card. So that's 15 minutes and you can be replaced straight away. A red one is the game and you can't be replaced for 15 minutes. And Mears is recovered and he's got a free kick. He just puts it up to Fontana, but over his head... And the umpire's found another free kick and it's going to Fontana, saying that he was infringed.
Gee, we did need to hold the discipline a little bit here, the Eaton side.
And that was Hodgkins that followed him out. Must have copped him a bit high in the attempt to spoil. He cannot see daylight on the right side for a left footer, and he puts it around the corner with that kicking style, and he's put it through. Well, that was an interesting state of play. Cronings, Fontana's got his second now.
Yeah, look, it got a bit hot and heavy on that outer side. There was a few pretty good bumps dished out. And a yellow card. Fontana got one in the back. And, look, it might look awkward, but it's very, very effective. He's got his second for this afternoon and putting in a very good game of footy. And most of all, the Collie Eagles come up with their fifth.
And you know what? Eaton, they did have their time where they kicked 3 behinds in a row. But all in all, they're struggling to come up with any answers. It's 2 goals, 4-16 to Collie, 5 goals, 5-35. So we are looking at a 19-point ball game on the Harvey Norman scoreboard as the umpire throws the ball up and Rinder and DeAngelis go at it. This one's won by Rinder, straight to Humphries. He's wrapped up, however, by Russell. Ball's in dispute. Back to Humphries. He gets his hands free and gets it out to Bannow, to Buswell. Ball now moved forward for Eaton. Picked up by Hill. He's brought to ground. Umpire says he had it too long.
That was a good tackle.
And Collie player will take the free kick. That was Palatti. He comes across to Davidson. Davidson takes the mark and plays on immediately. Now trying to bring the ball out of defence. He does. He finds Russell. Russell at centre half back for the Collie Eagles. Drives it up to the middle of the ground, and that's a good presentation of mark by DeAngelis. He plays on. Drives it long down the middle again. Broadbent. Ran onto it beautifully. Lovely kick by DeAngelis, and Broadbent on a 40, or nearly dead in front, and will kick from about 48, 49 metres.
Nice bit of vision, wasn't it, from the Collie player? Yeah, give Broadbent all the opportunity. Nice lead too, and gee, if he finishes this will be a big task for Collie.
Hits it at 48 on that right boot. It's a good-looking drop punt. Bang! Straight through the eye. Diddle for his second of the day, and suddenly Collie looking like the real deal here today at Glen Huon Reserve, Alan.
They are, and they've thrown out a bit of a challenge to the Eaton club. Have yet to win a game so far this year, Collie, and we keep mentioning that as Bignell, I think it was, just about missed the interchange bench coming off right in front of us there, telling Michael had to give him directions. But, yeah, nice work by the Collie Eagles. They are looking very, very good.
So, on the Harvey Norman scoreboard, Eaton 2 goals, 4-16. To the Eagles now, very much in control. 6 goals, 5-41. That 25-point ball game here at Glen Huon Reserve as the umpire puts the ball back up into the air. DeAngelis, but it's thumped forward by Rinder. Head over the ball is Russell or Collie. Eaton pick it up and try to move it forward, and pushed in the back there was, I think it was Hill. Yes, he plays on now. Drives it straight in. O'Dine can't mark. Picked up now by... I forgot it. Humphrey's got a handball away and there's a shot on goal. That's a much needed goal to the Eaton Boomers.
Yes.
And it's all clear. Just trying to work out who kicked it. Please turn around so I can see your number. He's not going to do it. Oh, gee.
Very well. Much needed goal for Eaton. Then they got it straight out of the middle.
Yes.
It was Adcock that kicked the goal.
Adcock.
It was a pretty handy goal by Adcock too. He just took it nice and calm. He didn't rush it. Just made sure it went through. And as I said, Eaton, they've been throwing the challenge out, but they've been playing some pretty good footy the last couple of weeks, Eaton. So we should still have a good game on our hands.
Good footy by Herman Humphries. Good clean gather. Dished off the handball to Adcock in a bit of space, and he fired on goal, and it was a beauty from the pocket. Rightio. So, are they going to... Can they get 2 in a row to make Collie start to get those seeds of doubt created in their mind? Rinder and DeAngelis. One down by Rinder. Just thumps it forward again. Coming out over the ball was Bolton. And umpire says, I'll have it. And up they go again. This one not missed by both ruckmen. Second hit went down to DeAngelis. Oh, they're all going in hard. Umpire says, I'll have it. Bignell went through like a steam train and nearly come off worse. Or it did come off worse for wear. It wasn't Bignell. It was Salmeri.
Salmeri just
came off worse for wear.
Got moved through the pack.
One down by Rinder to Humphries, who was grabbed without the football and wins the free kick. Very clever by him. Right in the centre of the ground, dumps the ball forward with a beautiful-looking drop punt to Noah to Adcock on the left foot. This one comes off the side. It's there with Herman Humphries and Jackson Hill. Oh, he's got... Oh, I think he... Oh, no score.
No score. It's coming out. Oh, the
umpire's held it up.
Not quite sure what's gone on.
Has he found a free kick for Jackson Hill, or what's the story?
None
of us know what's going on here in Belt-Up round.
Looks like the Collie Eagles will get the kick.
Okay.
It was a bit confusing for a minute.
Davison to take the kick for the Eagles. It's a free kick, and it's found Fontana, who takes a very good contested mark on the 50. Gives a handball off straight away to Barker. Barker fires the ball up the wing. Big long drop punt. Standing underneath it was Jacob Pilati and made a good contest and brought the ball to ground. Picked up now by Collie. They go back. Ball still in dispute. Huge tackle, but it's in the back. So good ball won there by the Collie player. Comes inside now to the centre square. Standing underneath it's Mouncey. Just forward to centre for Collie. Comes across the ground again to Rinder in a... No,
nice
it's not
bit of
Rinder.
run.
It's Bertolini Wolf in a mile of space. Fires it inside. Ball's brought to ground. Oh, and head over the footy. Ball won there by Buswell. He brings the ball out and finds Bow. He plays on immediately by hand to Bolton. Bolton gets a handball across to teammates in Pegler. Back to Bolton. Tries to don't argue and has a bounce. Mouncey runs him down. That's holding the ball.
That was good pressure, wasn't it, from the Collie Eagles?
He thought he had Mouncey done like a dinner.
Yeah, Mouncey just didn't give up and latched on. That was a great bit of effort.
Yeah. So that'll make Bolton think twice from now on. Mouncey comes back into the middle of the ground. DeAngelis takes a good mark. Plays on immediately to the hard-running Monaghan. He's on half forward, now wheels around, and he has to get around Greg Humphries. His ball will go inside to the hot spot. They fly. Oh beautiful mark to Higgs.
Gee.
He's having input. Oh, he thought about
went
playing
to play on then too. A player drifted in the pocket, then thought better of it.
Higgs having an influence. He's going to kick this from about 45, and it's dead in front with Rioli on the mark. Get Big Rinder on the mark and make him earn it. Okay, Higgs.
I think Big Rinder's pushed right onto that goal line.
Has he got the quality of kick to kick this from 45? In he strolls. It's a lovely looking kick. He's put it up. It's got the distance but not the accuracy. So misses to the far side. And that's a let off for... That's a beautiful mark.
It's good to see the Collie Eagles running though, aren't they? They're running to create options.
It's a let off for Eaton, who are really trying to find ways to score against this Collie outfit. Rioli brings the ball back into play. Now it's a handball over to Kennedy. He turns around. He says, looks at what he's got ahead, but Barker intercepts, drives it back inside, and Higgs this time is about 40 metres closer. Geez, Higgs having a real say. He's got his opponent very worried.
That was a terrible turnover. It just set Barker up. He just wandered through, and because all Eaton had started to run forward,
Yeah.
was no one at the back, and he's still going to kick around the corner.
Yeah, and he's nearly dead in front
He's
from
nearly dead in
35.
front.
And anyway, you got to do what works for you. He wheels around now. Rioli tries to apply pressure, doesn't make the distance, and that's why you got to do a drop punt, Craney.
Well, I keep saying
that's disappointing.
He was 30 metres out
that's
on a very slight angle.
That's a gimme goal.
But to not even make the distance.
Because if you go around for those snaps, you've got to hit it right on the right spot.
It always seems a bit more technical to me than just kicking a drop punt. But
yeah. Rioli brings the ball back into play with a low frat punt, looking for Greg Humphries, who's held without it and wins another free kick. They pay the advantage now as Buswell runs through the middle of the ground, had a bounce, feigns a handball, then goes outside, and that's Blackford who comes through with the big spoil. Running over the football was Chitty. Still comes at it. There's physicality there as Tynan had a crack at Chitty. Chitty's on the ground and he's looking a bit worse. Oh no, he jumps up for a free kick. Just made sure the umpire knew. But there was not bad work by Buswell coming through the middle.
Buswell first game of footy too, league footy I think. I think he might be on league debut.
And away they go. They play now. Chitty going across the ground. He's put it up nice and high there, but Davidson's good enough to take it. Now he goes further down the middle of the ground. Oh, Humphries in front. Really good by Greg. Has a bounce. Takes off now. Puts the ball inside 50. They're all running at it. They've got options galore, but it's ended up with Jack Rinder, who's held without the football and gets a free kick. Plays on immediately to a teammate in Barker, who's had a very good game. Brings it up the wing. Standing underneath it was Mears and Bolton. Bolton, he handballs it into the foot of Russell as we're working really hard overtime here and right in front of the Eaton bench. Collie now have it outside of the boot. Good kick by Davidson. It's on half forward now for Collie. With him, there was Selmeri. Ball's in dispute. Just inside 50 for Collie. It's one out now.
It's hot in the kitchen.
By Eaton's come up, and there's Bolton taking a mark here just on half back.
I was just watching the boys get to know each other just down in front of us.
Now that ball's come to Gaylard. Gaylard now goes back across the middle of the ground to Rinder. Played a reasonable game around the ground. Well, it's not a great kick. Rioli will have to do his best to beat that. He was absolutely poleaxed by Tanner. And now they're away. It's picked up by Tanner and he goes inside. A very strong saving mark to Craig.
I'll tell you what, there's bodies going down. There's some very hard hits going on. Poor old Rioli was set up then.
Eaton finds Rinder at a defensive 35.
Still on the haunches, right in the bed of the centre circle.
Rinder goes back to Craig, not the best kick, and Craig, playing around with it, but he's got enough time, and then he comes back out, looking for a teammate in Allen. They're making a mess of this at the Eaton side. Rinder, still not a great kick, and Jack Rinder's got the ball and has not kept it in play. But, the confidence of the Eaton side rocked Allen.
Eaton coach Chris Kinham couldn't believe what he was seeing in that little passage of play. They just need to wipe their hands of that one and move on with the game going forward.
So ball's brought back into play for Dale Alcock's Southwest Homes as Ruben handballs it to himself. Picks it up now, drives inside 50 and coming underneath, it's Fontana.
I reckon Ruben's seen him too. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because Fontana was in a bit of a hole there, and Ruben, I reckon he caught him out the corner of his eye, and it was a pretty good kick.
He makes such good position, Fontana, and he's very good on the one-on-one. He's so strong in the air. He's a wonderful player to watch.
And this is going for goal number 3 for this afternoon for his 150th game for the Collie Eagles.
And he'll shoot from about 40. That kicking style on the left foot floats it up.
Oh, he's done it again.
Straight through the eye, diddle. Who am I to talk about orthodox kicking Craney?
Well, Matt Blackfoot, he started it very well. He said if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, of course, the Collie Eagles, they're just doing Eaton look a little bit flustered at the moment.
They do not have the answers, Alan, on the Harvey Norman scoreboard. It's 3 goals 4, 22 to 7 goals 7, 49. So we're looking at a 27-point ball game at this point in time.
Just looking for Rioli. Because he got absolutely poleaxed in the middle, and he's back up on his feet in the goal square now, so it's good to see.
Okay, yep, he's right. So now We've got DeAngelis and Rinda going in again. Rinda wins this one. Bignell picks it up, tries to move it forward for Collie. DeAngelis comes through. He's met solidly by Humphries. They're all having a crack here today. It's fantastic footy. Picked up there by Bennell. It was a Herman Humphries. He gives it back to Bolton. Comes back to Bennell. Bennell has it, gives it back to Bolton. Bolton just grabs the ball. He's tackled immediately by Monaghan. Coming at the ball hard was Hodgson. They're still battling for everything. You can't say Eaton aren't having a dip.
Absolutely fierce out there. There was bodies falling everywhere.
It's hot in the cauldron.
It's all fair and above board, or most of it.
Yeah, it was all fair. No doubt about it. It's good football to watch, to be honest. DeAngelis wins this one down over the top of Rinda. Jackson Hill dispossessed. One out by DeAngelis. He's playing quite a good game, the young ruckman. Chitty can't gather it. Bow. Monaghan. Ball.
Free kick to Josh Bow.
Going back to Bow. And he plays... No, umpire says you've got to go back behind your mark. So Bow has the football now right in front of the interchange gates here in front of our commentary box. Just behind centre wing for the Eaton Football Club. As he drives it long to half forward, they all fly. Ball hits the ground. It's picked up there by Scott. He gets a handball away and dealt with harshly was Greg Humphries, who continues to win free kicks from the umpires. Plays on now. Oh, does a little dance. Then just fires in a Chesler to Jackson Hill. I don't know whether he's got the leg from here.
No, he'll be looking to go inside. O'Dean's on for him.
He'll be shooting from 55. Not too many options. Collie plugging up the hole.
He's going to have a... Oh, no,
he's got one wide there. No, not a great kick, and it's intercepted by the Collie player in Reuben, and he's wrapped up by Herman Humphries, and there'll be a ball up.
Probably thought a little bit too much about that, did Hill.
Ball up at 45 for the Eaton side. Collie gathered the ball at the stoppage, and that's Bignell. He just hooks it out of there, and the ball tumbles towards the boundary line out here at centre wing. It's just taken a good turn, and he's got an extra 10, 20 metres out of that as Bignell's it trundles over the line just in front of the Eaton dugout.
Beautiful day at Glen Ewan Oval. Sun is shining, hardly a breath of air, and we are treated to a very, very good game of footy. Ball
back into play for Dale Alcock Homes Southwest. Proud supporters of local footy. Broadbent flung around. Reuben gathers for Collie. He's dispossessed quickly. They're still furiously fighting at football. And the contest, Alan, is very good.
It's absolutely... And it's got the crowd enthralled too. They are sitting on the edge of their seats.
Neither side wanting to lose this match. Broadbent thrown out of it again by Rinda. Picked up by Chitty, and he's helped across the line there by Bennell.
Well, both sides haven't had the best start this season. Eaton have only had the one win, and Collie are yet to open their account. So it means a fair bit to both clubs.
Certainly does. Ball comes back into play for Dale Alcock Home Southwest. One down by Rinda, taken by Bolton. He's dispossessed really quickly. On the ground, working hard is Bow. And there's been a push in the back. Oh, trying to get up. And there's the siren. And Bow just gets a stat. Fires off a kick after he's been awarded the free kick. And at half-time on the Harvey Norman scoreboard, we have Eaton 3 goals for 22, trailing the Collie Eagles 7 goals 7-49. It's been a very, very hard-fought affair, which we will discuss a bit more after the break for our half-time show for the Hungry Hollow Beach Bar and Grill.
Here this afternoon so far at half-time in the league game, it is Eaton Boomers 3 goals for 22, and the Collie Eagles have bounced away to a 7 goals 7-49. A bit of a nice little lead going into three-quarter time.
Yes, and been a very, very hard-fought affair with Collie coming out on top at this point in time, more because of just applying that a bit more pressure than the Eaton side. Nothing to report on the injury front for SKG Radiology, Alan, at this point in time.
Just the one there, Darren, with the young bloke come off with that bit of a shoulder, but I see he comes straight back out. Yep. Hodgkin for Eaton Boomers, so that's good news.
He might need to go to SKG Radiology after the game and do a bit of bulk billing with his Medicare card, because there's rebatable imaging services.
And I reckon there might be a few of them in the ice baths after today.
Oh, yeah.
It has been a terrific contest.
Good contest. I see now O'Dine's going into the midfield for Eaton side, trying to give him a bit of run. And or maybe give... I know Greg Humphries will still be there. You wouldn't want to take him out. He's been exceptional today, as always.
That's just his norm, isn't it?
Bo's been hard at the football. And Rinda, and that match day matchup we talk about for Southern Lock and Security, Craney's been a ripper.
Yes, I don't mind.
Between the two ruckmen.
Absolutely.
DeAngelis and Rinda both having a good side as DeAngelis wins the first one down. Gathered by Michael. Comes out now. Gets on his right boot. Really left them all in his wake. Gets it inside 50. They all come there. Jackson Hill fires up to Craig. Craig off to Kennedy as Eaton come out of defence. Come hard up the wing. But leading them all to the race is Davidson and Collie. Puts in a low drop punt trying to find Fontana. Goes over the back. Craig gives a handball to a teammate who brings it inside. Good work there. He's got a Bolton. Bolton comes into the centre of the ground and standing underneath it, there was Scott. He fires it long, but standing there over the back is Blackford, El Presidente, and takes a strong saving mark in defence. Goes across to Barker. Barker moving cat-like as he comes out of defence. Puts a wobbler out there to a teammate who gets it to Davison. He picks up, gives a nice, or not quite a nice handball. In fact, I might have set it up for the 1-2 he has. He can't get a handle on it, and Eaton come in with numbers to save the day. Wrapping them up was Gaylard.
Well, they did that nicely, Collie. They just needed the clean hands. The handball went to the feet of Telemichael instead of up there, and Eaton did well to just bottle that up on centre wing.
Audio, Rinda and DeAngelis. Ball one down by DeAngelis. Picked up by Bignell. Streaks away out of the pack. A mongrel punt into the forward line, and it's marked back there by Kennedy. Kennedy now brings the ball up the wing. Tries to find Rinda. Claims the mark. Umpire says no way. Gives it back to Hodgson, who snaps one high onto the wing there. O'Dine not given much of a hope. Chitty picks it up for Collie and just slams it on the left boot. Driving it inside 50, the right boot it was. And Craig mops up again. He's had a ton of footy in this last 5 minutes. And then Greg Humphries for unrealistic attempt by Angelis on him. And he takes another free kick, finds Allen. Allen wheels around, goes on his right boot. It's a bit of a floater. And intercepting was Zach Palatti. Picked up by Bignell. Comes back to Rinda. Rinda now brings the ball out of defence for Collie. There's a foot race to the boundary line, and it's just seen over there by Adcock and Reuben,
who almost ended up in the Eaton Boomers reserves bench.
Adcock nearly ended up into the social rooms. He was going pretty hard.
He had a bit of pace on then, did young Adcock.
So another ball in for Dale Elcock, Holmes Southwest. Ball's one down by Rinda. Paul Rinda it is. Picked up by Allen. He gets a handball out to Bo. Ball sits for him, but he's got a few to beat. He's brought the ground, and the umpire said you had prior. And Monaghan
everywhere he looked up, he's seen Collie jumpers, did Joshy Bo.
He didn't want to dispose of it, and probably a professional free in the end. And Monaghan looks to centre half forward, and that's a strong mark by Broadbent.
There's a man on the
around on the left, all on his own is Higgs. Geez, he's having a reasonable day today. He just hasn't capitalised on the scoreboard, but Broadbent just stood there in the one-on-one and marked beautifully.
Well, Broadbent had 3 on him, and he just took the mark, which left Hicks out the back with no one with him within a bull's roar of him.
Our expert comments, thanks to MGIB. Like a good neighbour, MGIB is there since 1981. In comes Higgs, strikes it pretty well. Great way for Collie to start the quarter with Higgs getting his second for the day.
Yeah, Eaton got sucked to the footy then. They were all that worried about Broadbent, but Broadbent was good enough to outmark 3 of them, which left Higgs all alone by himself. And it took a while for Broadbent to get the ball to him, actually, so in the finish it worked all right for the Collie, and what a great way for them to start this third quarter.
Who do you like at the moment, Alan, for our WA Carpet Supermarket best on ground? Who do you reckon is going to win the belt-up ball?
Oh, look, it's a bit of a blanket at the moment, isn't there? There's quite a few players that could well and truly be up for it.
We've got on the Harvey Norman scoreboard, it's Eaton 3 goals 4-22 and Collie out to 8 goals 7-55, 33 points. Ball one down by DeAngelis yet again. It's in dispute on the ground. The umpire says, "No, boys, I'll have it."
Gee, Collie have been absolutely fierce this afternoon. They must have come down the hill on a real mission.
Yeah, I think they come down the hill and forgot to put the brakes on, Craney. That's the way they've attacked it.
Well, they go again.
Bignell fires one out again, the little bulldog. Kennedy has it for Eaton. He's wrapped up. Umpire says, "I'll have it." 40 metres out from...
I tell you what, Bignell will be putting his hand up for it. He's been into everything this afternoon.
Broadbent wins this one down. Taken by Craig, gotten by Fontana, fires on goal, and it's out on the Barry Bull. Just to the near side for him. Always going to be awkward to snap with that kicking style. Alan, sorry, I had to say it. And Rioli will bring the ball back into play for the Eaton Footy Club. Just steps around his opponent. Now he brings it out to the members' side of the ground. It was a very good attempt to attack on the ball by Adcock, but now they're away. Oh, that was not very well done by Bolton. And now Collie have the ball. It's picked up by Barker, who just fired in an absolute worm burner to find Monaghan.
I've liked his efforts this afternoon, Kyle Barker, for the Collie.
Reads the ball well. He's like a cat on his feet. He's very skillful and he can run.
Prepared to take the game on, isn't he?
Oh,
he read like an absolute book.
Yeah, I think he might be a librarian during the week. In comes Monaghan on the boundary from 45, right side for a left footer, and it hangs it out right and it stays out right and registers no score. Thought a player of his ilk may have done a little bit better.
Yeah, he didn't get anywhere near that, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can describe that. That never looked like going anywhere.
He's just given Rioli another stat for Wilson's Brewing. In he comes, back into play. They stand underneath it. That's a good effort by Zach Palatti. He now has the footy courtesy of DeAngelis. He runs inside, puts in a worm birder, but it doesn't go to anyone in particular. Mears battles on for it, goes at it hard as Reuben. Ball's still in play. Fontana collected high, and I think he'll take a shot from about 45 metres out on the boundary.
Bit in that one too, down there.
He's taking his time to get up, Fontana, but he's pretty tough. 150 games.
Well, he's putting his hand up for it too. I thought he was very good in that first quarter.
So right side for a left footer, Craney. He has a left footer and he'll kick from 45 right on the boundary, and the Eaton, right in front of the Eaton social rooms, they won't like it.
There'll be a lot of advice coming through him across the fence on how to kick it.
So here we go. He's not honouring any leads. He looks like he's just going to go at himself. Comes out, gives himself some width, puts it up.
Oh, he's giving it. Oh,
fair old effort, but it's just gone to the near side for a behind to Fontana.
How many times inside 50 for the quarter for Eaton, Ash?
So bringing the ball back into play is Rioli. He didn't run out of the square, so he don't get a Wilson stat for that. He's given it to Bowe, who's taken a mark 35 out from goal.
Eaton have gone in once, Darren, to 7.
He finds Craig, and Craig comes back to Scott. And still inside D50 for Eaton. He gets it across to Adcock. They're still inside D50 for 5 possessions. Well, they're going to try and maintain possession and take a bit of sting out of it and then have a crack. Adcock goes long down the wing. Ball hits and rolls out of play. What's the umpire say? He says, roll it in. And Bolton and Reuben have a little bit of a cuddle over there.
There's still a bit going on out here. There's no love lost.
So, here we go. DeAngelis and Rinder. Oh, DeAngelis pushed out of it, and the umpire has picked that up. Oh, they're falling over like 9 pins. Bignell goes down, trying to get a bit of sympathy from the umpire, but he says, no, I know what you're about. And DeAngelis goes to centre half forward. They fly. Comes to Greg Humphreys. He gives it to Bowe. Bowe gives it off to the hard-running Allen. He has a bounce.
Says,
he
catch me if you
sizes
can.
up his options. He looks inside 50.
Clever.
Standing underneath it is Scott, who's interfered with. He would have marked it otherwise, and he'll have a shot on a 45-degree angle about 35 metres out from goal.
And that all stems from some very, very quick hands from Greg Humphreys in the middle of a big pack. He opened it up big time. That was a seriously good kick into Josh Scott, and he stood there nice and tough, took the mark, and Eaton desperately would like this one to go through.
They need it. In he comes. Steps it to 40, off the left boot. He sprayed it to the near side.
Oh, that was...
Gee, they haven't capitalised today when they've had some really easy opportunities.
And that one, they just needed something to give them a bit of a spark back. That was only the second inside 50 for the term.
Tanner brings the ball back into play for the Eagles. It's at 60 metres out. Ball's gather. Oh, Jackson Hill gathers the footy and holding the ball, says the umpire. Monaghan plays on immediately, steps around one, puts it onto his boot, standing underneath it's Craig and takes a great strong mark at centre half back. Plenty of attention from Broadbent. Not an easy mission for Craig today.
No, he did that pretty well though.
So
Broadbent had arms and legs everywhere around him.
A lot of courage. Chips it over to Bolton just in front of Eaton's dugout. Giving him attention was Michael. Now he comes back into the middle of the ground to find Collard. Collard turns around and plays on to Rinder. Rinder can't mark. D'Angelo sets after him. Rinder stops, props, then goes to Allen. Allen's still outside 50. Now he chisels ones inside of Davidson.
That man again.
Beautiful intercept by him. He's played some good football today. Him and Barker across half-back have been magnificent.
They look very similar too. They move very similar.
Davidson has chipped it off to a teammate in Hoy Maroney, who's now still giving it to Bignell. Bignell goes out to DeAngelis, who's interfered with in the air by Collard. They're outside 50 just. And DeAngelis now, who's battled on really hard all day, goes long down the wing. In the contest, they fly. Ball comes to ground, picked up by Hoy Maroney of Collie. Gives it back to Reuben. Reuben looks to the middle of the ground. Michael can't grab it. Here comes Mears. Gets a handball out. Bounces in front for Davidson. He handballs across to a teammate who fires it. A little chiseler into Higgs. Higgs looks up. He looks for Broadbent.
We'll just put it too wide.
Doesn't bounce well for him, and Craig sees it over the line. Umpire says, I will have it.
Gee, it was almost, wasn't it? Just a little bit too wide for Broadbent. Just couldn't quite get a handle on it.
Collie have got a real spring in their step, Alan.
They have. They've got a real sniff.
They're looking for their first 4 points for the year.
Yeah, and just wanted to boost the club a little bit too.
Oh, away they go. One down by Rinder. Shark by Zach Palatti. Gets a handball out to a teammate who skied it. Oh, timely fist by Craig. Kennedy picks it up for Eaton and drives the ball long out to the wing. Allen's there. He's going to get there ahead of Hoy Maroney. Does a little bit of a dance.
Hoy Maroney, very good.
Hoy Maroney then... I thought it was a good tackle. No, it's out of play. And
he did very well, Hoy Maroney, there, because Allen had to step around him and he was off. There was very little between him and the goals from centre wing.
So ball's going to come into play for Dale Elcock, Southwest Homes. Up they go. Rinder wins this one down. Reuben gets his head over the football, gets it to Palatti. Palatti looking for Reuben. He gives it in turn to Michael. Michael now goes long to the square.
Oh, he nailed it
through, and Michael gets his first for the day.
Brilliant shepherd down in the goal square there. Just a little bit of body work and a nice goal by Michael. Followed it through beautifully.
So that was really good team play by the Collie Eagles. Higgs has been in a lot of... He's snapped one over the shoulder. He's had a couple of shots on goal he's had a few, more than a couple of shots. He's kicked two, and he's had a say in a couple of others, Craney.
But he summed that up nicely, didn't he? He couldn't put his hands up and take the mark. He realised it was going to roll on, moved the Eaton defender out of the road quite easily in the end, and Eaton Collie just pushed further forward.
Yeah, and 3 goals, 5-23. The Boomers to the Eagles, 9 goals, 8-62. Starting to look ominous now on the Harvey Norman scoreboard, Craney.
Yeah, they need to spark the Eaton side.
One down by Rinder, grabbed by Bow. He handballs to no one in particular, coming through Hill. Can't pick it up. Bow gathers again. Can't get it to a teammate. Michael tries to get out of it. Umpire says incorrect disposal. And there will be a free kick to Jackson Hill. What's the umpire saying?
No, you just got to go behind the mark.
Son.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
They've done a good job so far.
Yep. So Hill goes inside 50 to the hot spot. They stand underneath it. No one can mark. Ball's picked up. It's just hacked out of the air by... It was Gaylard. And not a very good kick, and now Collie Rappel saved the day again. This is Hoy Maroney.
That's a good duel between Blackfoot and O'Dern there.
Yeah. Hoy Maroney on his right foot goes out towards the wing, and it's gone out on the foot.
That's to the scoreboard attendant out there.
Yeah, there's no real pressure on him, and just a missed kick, I suppose, and going to bring the ball back into play is Collard for Eaton.
Can Eaton make the most of that turnover? Because they desperately need to get a goal on the board just for a bit of spark.
It must be over halfway through this quarter now, Crane. You'd think they'd need 2.
I mean, modern day footy, they're well and truly in the game. Yeah. It's just that spark they need.
Oh, that's good courage by Bennell. Allen was underneath it, gives it back to Collard. He comes through, fires it back to Bow. He's been good today on the right foot, over the shoulder, standing underneath it was Gaylard, but he was out positioned by Mounsey, who took a chest mark, and now plays on. Comes across the ground looking for Monaghan. They all converge on him, but he stands tall and takes a very strong mark. What's he got? He's got DeAngelis calling for it in the middle of the ground, but they've got him covered. And now there's a very good lead by Davidson. Davidson now has it right on defensive 50, and in pursuit of him was Hodgkinson.
Gee, Collie's defensive unit have been very impressive.
Yeah. He drives it long, does Davidson. Broadbent can't get a run at it. DeAngelis head over the footy. Chitty with him. Picks it up, Chitty, and walks it over the line. And there will be a Dale Alcock Southwest Homes throw-in. Rightio, Rinder and Broadbent this time. Let's see if he tries to just throw Broadbent out of the way like he did the last few times. Rinder wins this one from his bootlaces. Chitty kicks it over his head for Collie. They set off after it. Coming at it hard is Blackford. Bang! He's met by Collard. There was only one way that was going to end, Craney, and that was with a big bang.
Well, Matt Blackfoot does not take a backward step. He has not taken one in his league career. And both boys hit it very, very hard.
Here comes Collard, grabs the footy, gives it off to Bow. He grits his teeth one way then the other, gets it back to a teammate in Thorne, who's back on the ground after his yellow card, thumps it long. There goes Herman Humphries, gathers a crumb, clever little chip to Allen over the shoulder, who fumbles what he should have taken. Blackford's there for the Collie Eagles and gives it off to Hoy Maroney as they repel. Eaton's attacks again, and there's that man Barker, like a Mount Barker, he runs out of there. 3 bounces down the wing, nearly coughs this one up. Getting after him was Pegler. Barker now fires it inside 50, over the head. Eaton are going to run out of defence through Thorne. No, they aren't. Collie arrive and keep the ball in play through Mears. Very good defensive stuff by the small forward, and now Rioli brings the ball away for Eaton.
Rebound again.
Humphries, Greg chips it up, and he finds a teammate in Gaylard. What does Gaylard do? He's gone out to the wing, and he's found Herman Humphries. Second bounce, runs inside 50, has a crack on goal with his right boot. Oh, nearly a very good mark to Hodgkinson. It's gone across the face for a behind.
Geez, that was end-to-end football, wasn't there? A couple of bad turnovers either end of the ground.
Herman Humphries took off and had 2 bounces and ran to the 50 and
it's been a lot of bounces this afternoon.
Got
been good.
Good bit of distance on it. Davidson brings the ball into play to Hoy Maroney. He's had a few disposals this quarter. Brings it out. Finds a teammate. Gets it on quickly. They go down that outer wing to Collie. Kennedy does battle. Gets his to the football, and there's been a push in the back. Really good work. Fontana got into Kennedy. Kennedy brings it across there to Bow. Bow worked tirelessly today for Eaton. Gives it to Greg Humphries, who's also been very good. Both contenders for the WA Carpet Supermarket Player of the Day. It's come over the back now. That's a good tap on by Tynan. Gets it to a teammate in Hill. He puts it up high in the air. They all fly. Ball comes... Oh, umpire's found a free kick and it's going Eaton's way.
Wow.
And Pegler's going to have a chance to get his first for the day.
And a much-needed one for the Eaton side. The ball's swinging from end to end.
45 degrees. It's going to kick from about 20. Puts it straight through the middle, and understatement of the day, that is a much-needed goal by the Eaton side. But can that help sway a bit of momentum?
Well, that just needs... They need to find a bit of spark, don't they? It's been mostly Collie's quarter. Ball running from end to end, mainly for a few bad turnovers from both sides. But that was a nice little finish by Pegler. He had a fair bit of pressure on him because they desperately needed that, as you said. Darren, and he followed through nicely.
On the Harvey Norman scoreboard, it's Eaton 4 goals, 6-30 to Collie, 9 goals, 8-62. It's still just a tick over 5 goals, 32 points. But it's not insurmountable. Craney, if they can get a couple of quick ones before three-quarter time.
Well, it's not. It's modern-day footy, and once you get your tails up, you can score very, very quickly.
Broadbent and Rinda. One down by Rinda. He puts it, but Broadbent gathers the crumb. Gets a handball forward for his side. Picked up by Allen. Gets to Hill. Hill gives it to the hard-running Bolton. Bolton just dribbles one in, not even inside 50. Rinda's brought to ground. Umpire says, I'll have it, boys, and ball it up at half forward for the Eaton team.
You get the sense if Eaton could kick another one, they could well and truly get up and about.
Yeah. Rinda and Broadbent. One by Broadbent this time. Attacked well by Bow. Gets a handball out there to Scott. Scott on the left foot. Puts it up nice and high. Gives his forwards an opportunity. It's one there. Humphreys knocks it, but Davidson tumbles the ball out of defence for Collie. Picked up by Zach Palatti, and he's misdirected the handball to Michael, and there'll be a throw-in at half forward for the Eaton Footy Club.
Yeah, that handball needed to be a little bit better than that, and then they were off down this commentary side wing. But the boundary line won.
Dale Alcock, Holmes, Southwest, throw in. Here they go, Broadbent and Rinda. Oh, Broadbent taken out of it. Humphreys tackled and dispossessed. Adcock shovels it forward, and it's come out the back to Gaylard, who's had a shot on goal, and I tell you what, he's got it!
That is a big moment in this game of football. Eaton go back-to-back goals. That was a beautiful pick-up and swing across his leg by Gaylard.
And back-to-back goals for the Eaton Footy Club. Suddenly they bring it inside 5 goals. It's 5 goals, 6-36 to Collie, 9 goals, 8-62. So it's back to a 26-point ball game.
It's amazing how this game ebbs and flows. Eaton have had the last 5 minutes on their terms, whereas Collie had the first 5 or 10. So I guess it's who makes the best of their opportunities, and that was definitely making the most of your opportunities because that was a terrific goal.
Back in the centre square for KFC. Up they go. Broadbent and Rinda. Broadbent wins this down. No one can win the football. Coming out of it. Looked like it was going to be Reuben, but he was stopped dead in his tracks by the Eaton midfielders who now have a little bit of wind in their sails. One down by Rinda. Michael trying to steam through. Palatti gets a handball out. Reuben. Once again, he's taken out of the play. Greg Humphreys seems to always have it been a mile of space. Gives it off to Bolton. Bolton goes inside for Eaton, and then O'Dine on the chest. Moves very well, judges it well. He'll shoot from about 45 on a 45-degree angle. Right side for the right footer.
Yeah, look, they're starting to rise to the challenge of the Eaton Football Club, which you'd expect that too. There's a fair bit of pride on the line in this game.
O'Dine for 3 in a row for the Eaton side. 3 in a row. In he comes. Strikes it from 45. It's not a bad-looking effort.
That was
well done
good.
to Kate O'Dine. He turns around and looks at the Collie crowd and says, how do you like that, gentlemen? They might have been giving him a little bit of lip service as he ran in.
That was a perfect kick, actually. Set it up nicely, and it went straight through the middle.
That's his third, Alan.
That is his third. It looked pretty good, and Eaton got the last 3 in a very short period of time to close up this game. Still a little bit in it, but, gee, they've got their tails
up. It's back to 20 points, Craney.
It is, and, look, Collie just need to settle this down a little bit.
On the Harvey Norman scoreboard, it's 6 goals, 6-42 to 9 goals, 8-62. Do the seeds of doubt creep into this Collie side?
Well, they're going to be under pressure, aren't they? Because they haven't won one so far this season. They're in a good position now.
Rinda won the KFC ball up. Coming at it was Zach Palatti. Collie's still working really hard. Michael's got his head over the footy, and he's won a free kick for high.
They need to go down and get a steadier.
He plays on immediately to a teammate in Russell. Russell goes inside to the hot spot. It's crashed well by Broadbent. Fontana's there over the footy, as is Kennedy for the Eaton Footy Club. Everyone's willing now. Craig, the ragdoll. He tumbles it out of defence. They set off after. It's picked up by Barker.
Oh,
he takes on
you don't mind.
all comers in Scott. Gives it back to a teammate there in Russell. He goes back inside to Bignell, who's taken a mark. Bignell just forward to centre, chisels it into... was it Broadbent? No, it's Fontana. Broadbent was behind, and Fontana will have a shot from about 40 metres out, dead in front.
There are certain players you'd like as a forward to lead to, isn't there? And Adam Bignell is one of those. He is a very, very good kick of the football.
It was such a well-weighted kick. And Fontana, of course, has got sticky fingers, as we know.
Well, Fontana missed it. Broadbent was second in a row to get it.
He was. And in he strolls now. The awkward left footer. Away he goes. He sets it up. Has he done enough? No, he hasn't. And it's off hands.
Oh, that would have been
just
a handy
on the
one.
siren. And Eaton, we'd have to say, Craney, live to fight another day.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the scoreboard. What is it? 6-6-42 to Eaton to 9-8.
It'll be 43 after that one, I think, off hands.
52.
Yep.
So we're all set, Darren, for an absolute beauty of the last quarter.
21 points to Collie at the three-quarter time break. With Eaton kicking the last 3 goals, we better get to a break because we've got to catch our breath to call this last quarter, which is going to be absolutely dynamite.
Start the all-important final quarter. Very little in this clash between Eaton and Collie. Last quarter underway. Darren McDonald, take it away.
Up they go. It's one down by DeAngelis, thanks to KFC. Head over the football there by the Collie footballer, and he gets it to a teammate in DeAngelis. The ball not really going anywhere. Umpire says, I'll have it. In the Wilson stats at three-quarter time, there wasn't much difference between the two sides, except for Eaton had really upped the ante, having 5 tackles to Collie's 2 in that third quarter, and as a consequence, 3 more goals, Ellen.
Yes, absolutely. I tell you what, it's just, I was watching both coaches. They are very, very intent. A very, very important win for both these clubs. Humphreys just come out of it again. Yeah,
and Chitty looking a bit worse for wear for that. It's Herman Humphreys gets a sweeping handball over to Jackson Hill, comes in, dribbles the ball inside 50 as Eaton go forward again. Davidson for Collie picks the ball up, handballs it as he's slung, given back to him by DeAngelis, gives it to the beautiful looking Barker, who thumps one up to the far wing. Ball comes back into play, getting after it was Reuben, but Eaton moved the ball forward through Greg Humphreys, goes into centre forward, a magnificent mark to Hodgkinson over the back, and he's dead in front and will shoot from about 45, and I think he fancies his chances the way he's coming back.
Absolutely does, and it's good to see him back out there. He looked like he injured his shoulder pretty nasty in that second quarter, but he's back out in the ground shooting for a very, very important goal.
Yeah, this will be 4 in a row for Eaton if he can kick this. In he comes, wastes no time. He's pointed it right, and that's the way it's gone, Ellen.
I tell you, but Eaton are up and about, aren't they?
Absolutely,
they're running the footy.
Yeah, they're winning the one-on-one contests, and Collie are feeling the pressure. Ball comes out, and Russell just sits and waits for it. Then he gives it off to a teammate in DeAngelis, has a bounce, takes him on, shrugs off the tackler, now lets fly with a drop punt, kicks it to a 1-on-2. It's Monaghan and
kept
Thorne.
his feet nicely.
Monaghan thumps the ball forward. There's a heap of Eaton players around it. Picked up there by Hodgson, tries to get it to Rioli, gives it back to Kennedy, comes back to Thorne, he puts it back to half-back, and that's a really good mark to Bolton, who gives it off to Hill. He takes off, gets a handball over the top there to Humphreys. Herman Humphreys it is. He, in slow motion, sizes it up and gets it to Buswell at centre-half forward. Buswell now, they seem to have options aplenty, puts it into the hot spot, they fly, They are panicking now, Collies. That's just hacked out of defence by their defender. Mears can't get hold of it. Bolton picks it up. Mears brings him to ground. Umpire says, I'll have it.
Isn't it amazing? Just when you up the ante with your running, looks like you got more numbers around the footy, and that's what Eaton have got at the moment. Collie just got to settle and get that run back.
And they've got to use their voice because Russell had more time in defence there and just panicked and hacked it out of play. It didn't eventuate. As Herman Humphreys just shows, as Bennell shows us his skill and drives it in forward. Blackford flies. Think he might have been interfered with, and he wins a free kick, El Presidente.
Well, this is where they need to run and split like they have been doing, but there's very little movement. I see a lot of players with Collie players just hands in the air. That's not going to weigh well.
He's brought a kick out to the member side, and sitting over the back's Kennedy takes a comfortable defensive mark. Now he brings it back into the middle of the ground and finds Rinder. Rinder on that left boot, drives it in. It's over the head there of Gaylard, who now Collie play Play on, gets it out there to Palatti. Zach Palatti has a bounce, runs through half-back, floats one up the wing, and he finds Mears, who takes that chest mark, an easy chest mark. Nearly, he's mucked up the kick, but he's given it to Monahan. He gives it off to the hard-running Barker. Gets to 60, fires one into the hot spot. Higgs off hands and rolls through for a behind.
I reckon that come off Higgs' hands, actually.
Off hands and runs through for a behind. And then it comes out to Collard now. Eaton wastes no time. Getting it down the members' wing. Setting off after it is Allen. He's run out of play. Sees a couple off. And it was...
He's lifted today too.
Bertolini Wolf just letting him know he was right with him.
Tanner Allen has lifted today too.
He's been good today, I feel. He and Bo. I really like Bo's game today. They should have him around the footy. Oh, yes, there he is. Just waiting. Rinder takes this one out of the air, gets a handball to no one in particular. Allen comes in, taken there by
good shepherd by Michael.
And then Collie come away with the football. There's a little nudge under the ball, but umpire says it's legal, and Kennedy takes another saving mark. Now he comes into Buswell, who's presenting well. Coming hard at the footy was
good handball. That opens it up.
And now Zach Palatti runs out of defence, gets to the centre circle and mongrels one in. Fontana thought he may have been interfered with. Umpire lets it go to Reuben, gets it to Mears. Mears under a little bit of pressure, fires on goal, and he's missed to the near side.
Look at the Collie fans. They just about went through with that one. This is terrific.
So Eaton really applying pressure on the Harvey Norman scoreboard at 6 goals, 7.43 to 9 goals, 10.64. Ball comes back into play. Greg Humphries inside the centre square, wheels around on that right boot. He's got a teammate in Pegler all on his own. Pegler gathers the football now, gives it back inside to Jackson Hill. Jackson Hill sizes up his options. He's still got Pegler there if he wants him. He'd run on, but no, he goes further afield and finds Allen. Allen's outside 50, goes into centre half forward. There's Collard. Collard wobbles one up to full forward. O'Dine can't work his magic this time, and the ball goes over the line for a behind.
Gee, they're running though the Eaton side at the moment.
Getting some space. How does Collard get to centre half forward all on his own?
Because they're prepared to run at the moment.
So Barker's going to bring the ball back into play for the Eagles. Runs out towards this member's side and then finds his teammate Bertolini Wolf just inside D50. Bertolini Wolf chips it to a 1-on-3. Very good work by Michael.
It was nice, wasn't it? He had 4 around him, 4 Boomers players.
It was a risky kick. It paid off. Now they come up the wing. Broadbent challenges Craig. Goes over the back of them. Mears. He's had a reasonable second half. But Bolton pushes him off the football. Gathers it now himself. Gives it to Craig. Craig faces his back to the punishment from Broadbent and gets wrapped up.
He knew it was coming then, Craig. Did it pretty well in the end.
Yeah, he's played quite well, Craig, really, on the big fella, even though the big fella's had an influence. Bolton now with his head over the footy, maybe taken a little bit high. Balls. Yes, umpire agreed with me. Oh, I love it when the umpires agree with me, Alan.
Yeah,
they didn't agree with him when I played, though. Collard now gets another stat for Wilson's Brewing, and then it's gone over the head of Rinder. All the Collie players converge. Reuben gathers it. He's tackled and brought to ground. There'll be a ball up just forward to centre.
They got a bit confused, the Collie players then, didn't they? They did. One needed to go for that footy and one needed to peel.
Just forward to centre for the Collie side. One down by Rinder. It's gone over the back. Oh, geez, Bignell taken high in a dumping tackle, and Bignell will get a free kick.
Took the wind out of your sails.
When he gathers himself.
He's tough as nails.
Tough as a cat's head.
But he got absolutely slammed to the ground.
Bignell goes long inside 50 now. Fontana comes out to meet it. With him's Kennedy. Getting there's Thorne. Fontana battles on. Monahan comes over to help. But Thorne has it. Works it pretty well. Dribble a kick. Gone out there to Hodgson. He gets a handball away to a teammate, and they Eaton get the footy away. Good mark to Bolton. He's starting to get a bit of it. Runs through the middle of the ground. Handball over the top to O'Dine. Has a bounce immediately. Runs through the centre square. Drives long on goal to an open goal square. Oh, it's Lux a fortune. And it's
missed.
Umpire said he's missed.
Yeah.
Is that Humphries, Herman Humphries, or Bennell? I think it was Bennell.
He did everything right. The ball bounced up right. It just hit his boot wrong. He was only a metre or two out of goals.
Collie play on. And Davison has a football. Plays on now. walks it up to defensive 40 and thumps it up to the wing. Out they come, Collie.
Oh,
that's a bad drop mark by Jacob Pilati.
Yeah, he should have nailed that.
And it's holding the ball, and Collard really working hard in this last quarter. Dribbles one off to Bolton. He drives it into the forward pocket. Standing tall is Davidson. Jeez, he's been good today, Alan.
He's been putting his hand up for him.
He might get his halls carpeted this week. Rightio, up he goes. That's a big fly by Higgs, and he's shepherded out.
He's shepherded out.
Yes, it was. Stood his ground, did Pegler, but Higgs wins a free kick for shepherding out. Up here on his own is Jacob Pilati. They're not going for that option. Told Broadbent to go, and Hoy Maroney gets the short pass. Broadbent's still there, standing here on the wing. Everything, you know what? Eaton have positioned themselves really well in space. So Collie aren't sure whether to take the short kick or not. Down the line they go. Monaghan contests. With him is Thorne, who pushes the ball over the line. There'll be a ball up right between the interchange gates.
As good as Eaton have been this quarter, they haven't put the score on the board. They still need to get those 3 goals back.
Our expert comments, thanks to MGIB. Like a good neighbour, MGIB is there since 1981. They bring you Alan Crane to us as there's a Dale Alcock Southwest Home throw-in. Jacob Pilati's grabbed the footy, brought to ground. The umpire says, I'll have it. Whoa, this game is on.
Tell you what, there's been some good match day matchups too.
There's only 19 points in it, Alan.
With Southern Lachlan Security.
They have. Oh, a big thump forward by the Collie player.
That's good. Just keep moving it forward by Collie.
Chitty. And
it's good to see him back on because he come off a bit worse for wear not long back.
Yeah, he's come to his senses. He's come back on and looks like he's ready to have a crack. Dale Alcock, Southwest Homes throw in. Okay, it's Rinda and DeAngelis, as it has been for most of the day. It's won by Rinda and it's still in play. Picked up by Chitty, now it's over the line. So there'll be a ball in for Dale Alcock, Southwest Homes. Dale Alcock Homes in the southwest, just at the interchange gates again. So the contest is still pretty ferocious. Ball's one down by Rinda. Ruben can't get a handle on it. Chitty gets his hand up to DeAngelis. DeAngelis bombs in. Rioli can't mark. They storm out now. That's Broadbent. Brings the Collie player to the ground. I think it may have been Thorne. And
Rioli on the bottom. That's good to see, isn't it? Good players, if they make a bit of a blue, they fix it up, and that's exactly what Rioli did just then.
Broadbent and Rinda, one down by Broadbent. Picked up, without the football is Higgs.
Was a bit careless.
And Higgs has a chance to go back and kick his third.
And just a quick one from over Donnybrook, 9-7-61 lead, Bunbury 3-7-25. So
wow.
That's a good lead by Donnybrook.
Well done to the Apple Munchers. Rightio. So Higgs, 45-degree angle. He won't be going for a snap of around the corner from here, Craney.
No, surely not. Kick a drop punt and good kick through it.
He'll kick it from...
Well, this is not a good sign, though. Rioli's come up very, very sore.
Could be SKG radiology there. Higgs steps inside 50, kicks it from 45. It's a bit of a floater, but it's holding its line. No, near side. He's missed.
Gee, Rioli's in not good shape at all. That's a bit of a blow for Eaton.
He's limping really badly. He's undone the helmet. I reckon
it looks like a back.
He's done for the day.
He got nailed in that tackle just a few moments ago.
Pinched a nerve maybe as Eaton bring the ball out of defence. Big fly there.
Beautifully read.
And Bolton has a bounce, has his second as he streams down the wing, looking for someone to kick it to after his third. Now he just puts a low one into O'Dine. Blackford spoils with the big fist. Picked up by Russell. Goes back to his teammate there
well, they got run on the outside, Collie.
And now Collie are away down the outer side. Pilati, Zach has it. Goes just a little chip up the wing. He's got... It's not Bignell. Looks similar to him. I think it may be Jacob Pilati.
Broadbent's in the...
And it's in the packet forward now. Kennedy clears for Eaton. Comes out there. They run it, the ball again. Bow just goes around his opponent. Has a bounce. Looking for someone to handball it to. And there he goes to Pegler. Pegler on the left foot. Looking for someone inside 50. Allen contests, but Blackford wins the ball out to a teammate in Rinda. Rinda, bang, onto the chest, finds Davidson. Davidson just decides to halt play up.
Both sides working extremely hard.
Davidson now down the wing, kicks to the contest. Broadbent's in there, ball comes to ground. Craig got his fist on it. It's on that centre far wing. Comes back out. Kennedy size up his options. Oh, bit too much on it for Humphries. He's still in there fighting for it. He's tackled by Russell. Umpire says, I'll have it.
Very rarely you see Greg Humphries get tackled, so that was well done by the Collie Eagles.
Just on the edge of the centre square on the far side, centre wing. One down by Giangelis. Reuben. He's held as he went for the football, and the umpire says, I'll have it. So, still on that far centre wing. Reuben getting up a bit gingerly. Jacob Pilati handing the ball back.
There'll be some sore lads after this one, Darren. No doubt about that.
DeAngelis. Reuben tries to plough his way through. DeAngelis has it. Goes to Bo of Eaton, who thumps it forward inside 50 for the Boomers. And there they go. The ball's spilled out there to Bennell. He socks on, but there is Jack Rinder for Collie. Looking for a teammate to handball it to, and that was Mouncey. Mouncey gives it off to another teammate who cannot get a handle on it. Coming through looked like
he's got
Barker.
a high tackle.
Barker, and he's been taken high. And Collie will get a chance to relieve the pressure. So
it's getting very dull here at Venue and Oval.
It is. And Barker takes the ball out to the far side. Getting a fist on it was Thorne. Trying to be taken away by Hodgson. But the ball goes out of play on the half-back flank for Collie. And the umpire will throw it in for Dale Alcock Holmes Southwest. Here we go, Rinder and DeAngelis. Really good knock by Rinder, but it's gone down to Russell. He's dispossessed. Bo gets it out to a teammate who just thumps it inside 50. Standing underneath it is Mouncey. Wraps it up.
He's been good this afternoon. Yeah. That whole defensive unit has been pretty good.
So Mouncey.
They're standing firm, aren't they, Collie? Yep. Under siege.
Yep. Play on now. O'Dine got after him, put pressure on the kick, goes long down the line. A beautiful mark to Thorne. Really good mark to Thorne for Eaton, and the ball's going to go back inside again. Let's see what's he going to do. Is he just going to drive it in, or is there someone making position? Yes, there is. Kicks a little bit too hot for him as Russell gathers. Gives it off to Michael, who's hit high, and gets a free kick. So Michael, right on half-back for Collie on the outer side. Now chips it up, finds Fontana, who's come down a long way from home to take a mark on his chest. Right on far centre wing. Now he just holds and gives it to Russell. He's been quite good today as Russell.
Yeah, a bit early to start shutting things down a little bit.
It is. Davidson. Maybe they're just trying to take the sting out of Eaton by denying them the football. Then he goes across the ground and finds Barker. Bignell coming back onto the ground to give them a little bit of grunt. And Barker's been given a 50.
Oh, that is
costly at this point in the game.
Costly, all right, as a coaching staff would not be happy. I didn't see what it was for, but that's just given 50 metres away for absolutely no reason.
So Barker, just forward to centre for Collie, brings the ball back into the middle of the ground to Bignell. Bignell then goes inside with a great pass.
Good kick.
And that was Monaghan, I'm pretty sure. He's taken a mark at 40 out. He'll kick from 45, nearly dead in front.
Yes, because I can tell anyone who's watching on the SEN app, it's a lot brighter on your screens than what it is at Glen Ewan.
All right. So,
gee, this one...
Monaghan to have a shot on goal to probably
this
try and
is a
snuff him out.
Buckingham big moment, I think. Darren?
All right. He strolls up towards the 50. Steps inside it, shoots from 49, not a bad looking drop
he
punt.
give that everything.
Talk about a Buckingham big moment. Celebrate your Buckingham big moments with Buckingham beef. Well done to Monaghan, and I'd say that would have snuffed out any chance Eaton have had of stealing this game.
Gee, Collie have done well there, because Eaton, for 15 minutes there, they just had the ball, they were up and about. And the defence held firm for Collie. They just blocked things up. They held it up. They started moving around and then went down. And that was a terrific goal by Monaghan. I've been impressed with his game all day. Actually, he's worked very, very hard.
On the Harvey Norman scoreboard, we've got Eaton 6-9-45 to Collie 10-11-71 as we head to the centre of the ground for another KFC ball up between Rinder and DeAngelis. Up they go. One down by Rinda. Bignell gets over it, however, for Collie. Humphreys in there, emerges with the football. He's been nuclear at the stoppages today. Way he goes. Puts it inside 50. Out comes Blackford for Collie, attacking the ball, defending well. Davison O'Dine has it. Goes backward to a teammate. Gets it on his boot. Tumbles it inside, but a very good mark to Chitty. Saving mark to Collie, who look to have the game in their keeping now.
I looked at Blackford then. He's been around for a long time. Took a while to get back up then.
Chitty went back to Jacob Pilati, who's marked it right on the point line. Now he's going to go back out to the far side. He finds Bignell. It's been quite good today for the Eagles.
Been very good. Just his use of the football.
Now he goes further out to that wing
and that's
again.
a
Out
beautiful
on his own.
example.
It's DeAngelis. He elects to play onto that left foot. Finds a teammate in Mears. Takes off. He's like Quicksilver. Goes inside 50. It's overrun by the contest.
Oh,
picked
nice
up by
over the
Monahan.
top.
It's a chip. There's that man Higgs again.
Oh, that was nicely done.
Higgs has been a thorn in the Eaton side today.
He copped a sneaky one on the way
Yeah,
through.
it might have been through. Copped it on the little boys there, I think.
But
trying to catch his breath.
I don't think he'll mind about that because he'll go back and have a shot for his third.
Yep, and it's about the third time he's having a shot for his third, Alan. No kicker in the corner.
Right. No, kick the thing.
Yeah, dead in front. He's going to shoot it from 15 metres out. Taking his time, good composure. In he walks.
There's half a smile on the Collie Eagles. Oh,
and
no!
he slammed it into the woodwork.
How would you do that?
The anticipation. You could have made yourself a hero, son.
And the post is still
I think
swinging.
he was thinking about the celebrations.
Yeah, I think so.
Ball comes back into play for Eaton. It's come right up.
Oh, what
about
a
it?
beauty!
Celebrate your big moments with Buckingham Beef. Thank you, Greg
Humphreys.
What a screamer.
Absolutely. Jones boys replay for that one.
Oh, it's now and a half forward for Eaton.
He can do everything, Greg Humphreys. That was a classic.
He was up there for an eternity. He was higher than Joe Cocker in the 8th octave. Unbelievable. It's at half forward now for Eaton as we all regain composure. And streaming through is the Eaton player. Comes out to Collard. Collard looking for someone to handball it to. Seems to have a long time to do it. Gets it out there to a teammate in Scott. He fires on left, but it's a match-saving mark to Davidson. He's been magnificent today.
Yeah, almost best on ground, actually.
Gives it to Barker. Barker is not far behind him, just thumps it out to the wing. Running on there, Zach Pilati. Zach Pilati goes further afield, and standing underneath it was Broadbent. Dropped what he should have taken. Craig applying good pressure. Getting in there for Collie is Selmeri. Ball's tied up, however, 60 metres out from goal for the Collie team.
Gee, Collie, they'll be celebrating if they could get to sing their song tonight.
Oh, yeah, it'll be the first time for the year.
Umpires picked out a kick to Eaton, though.
Yeah, and it's going to go to Bolton. He's had a pretty good second half.
He's had a very good second half. Well, probably not with that.
Intercept there, comes to Pilati, goes inside, and that's a good pass to Higgs.
Are we putting him down for the goal this time? No, he's going to pass it over to no one in particular.
Yeah, it's come out wide now into the pocket. There's Fontana there. Handball given away there by the Eaton player to Adcock. He gets it onto a teammate. There's the siren. And Collie have their first win for the year.
Very, very happy Collie coaching bench.
In emphatic fashion, on the Harvey Norman scoreboard, we've got Eaton 6 goals, 9, 45 to Collie, 10 goals, 12, 72. So well done to them. They've come down the hill, as you said, Alan, with a fair bit of momentum, and they've taken it into the game. And we'll come and talk about it after the break, thanks to KFC and Dale Alcock Homes Southwest.